In this video, we're going to look at successive transformations. We're focusing on 2D transformations. And really, this is about looking at some strategies for figuring out what transformation or transformations a particular matrix represents. So take a look at this one here. So it says describe the transformation represented by M. And this can be a little bit tricky because there's not really a hard and fast method here. It's just about spotting something. So the first thing that I might spot is that all of these have a 5 in the numerator. It looks a bit like something has been multiplied by 5. So obviously I could just factorize out a 5, but a number out the front isn't a transformation. But there is a matrix that achieves the same thing. And that matrix is just 5 times the identity. So 5, 0, 0, 5. That's like the matrix equivalent of factorizing out a 5. And what's left is just everything divided by 5. So minus 1 over root 2, minus 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2, and minus 1 over root 2. Okay, so this matrix here, well, that's just 5 times the identity. So that is simply an enlargement with a scale factor of 5. So we've got that bit. Now, this one looks like a rotation, but which rotation? Well, you need to recall that the general form of rotation is cos theta minus sine theta, cos theta. And so the question is, what has theta got to be to make this work? So we need cos theta to equal minus 1 over root 2. If we find, let's find all solutions between 0 and 360. If it turns out we need a clockwise transformation, we'll think about that. We'll deal with that later. So if cos theta is minus 1 over root 2, we get theta is 135, or 360 minus that, which is 225. If sine theta, well, sine theta is going to have to equal 1 over root 2. So sine theta is positive 1 over root 2. We get theta equals 45, or 180 minus that, which is 135. So now you just look for the common solution, which is 135. So that means that this one here is an anti-clockwise rotation of 135 degrees. Okay, so if we're going to describe the transformation represented by M, we work from right to left, because remember the matrix here acts on a point first. In this case, it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you rotate and enlarge or enlarge and rotate. But nevertheless, the convention is you work from right to left. So you can just bullet point your answers like this. So this is an anti-clockwise rotation of 135 degrees, followed by an enlargement of scale factor 5. So that's the process really. It's just teasing apart any matrix you see into the building blocks we know about. A reminder, those building blocks are rotations, reflections, and enlargements. In this case, it was a rotation, anti-clockwise rotation of 135 degrees, followed by an enlargement of scale factor 5. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. So describe the transformation represented by m squared. Okay, well, it's obviously going to be in terms of p, because that p is not going to go anywhere. But let's work out what m squared is. So we're just going to multiply this matrix by itself. And what do we get? Well, we get p squared plus 2, and then we get root 2p minus root 2p, so 0. Down here we get root 2p minus root 2p, so 0. And finally we get 2 plus p squared, or p squared plus 2. So in this one, actually what we get is just p squared plus 2 times the identity. So this is simply an enlargement of scale factor p squared plus 2. So be prepared to sometimes give answers in terms of p squared. So that's successive transformations. We just have to, well, in some cases, calculate what the actual matrix is and then reverse engineer how we got there. What is it in terms of our building blocks? That's all for now. See you in the next video.